Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Creator, we invoke your presence in its many forms to comfort and guide us. As family and friends gather today, we appreciate this time to celebrate together. May we recognize our good fortune and take advantage of every opportunity before us. Prepare us to leave the security of our known lives and enter the future with confidence. Please bless the teachers whose passion and dedication have bettered us, the families whose love and support have raised us, and the class of 2018. Let Mother Teresa's words guide us. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Amen.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the O'Neill School's commencement exercises. Thank you, Elizabeth Moore, class of 2018 salutatorian, for our invocation. This afternoon we come together, family, friends, faculty, students, and staff, to recognize this important step for our class of 2018. I want to start by thanking the seniors for all that they have done for the school and for their fellow students. We also thank the senior parents and guardians who have entrusted us with their children and shared their O'Neill years with us. And thank you, the O'Neill faculty, for the dedication, support, and love you have provided. Last evening at Baccalaureate, I emphasized that true success is influenced by our individual life experience, guided by our sustained passions, and measured by the positive impact on others. When we think of the class of 2018, their accomplishments at O'Neill already reflect their directions in life. This group comes from a range of cultures and backgrounds, and their passions are varied. They include writers, athletes, scientists, and artists, and several have excelled at the highest levels in fields not limited to our offerings at O'Neill. Class of 2018, you have come so far over the years together, and you will always be a special part of the O'Neill community. Your growth, progress, and changes epitomize what is wonderful about our school. O'Neill is not just buildings and a campus. We're a community of people who share an important period of time together. To begin our formal program, it is my pleasure to introduce the class of 2018 valedictorian, Sophia Renner.
Good afternoon, classmates, students, parents, and faculty. Before I commence my speech, I'd like to first thank the people who got me to this point. Thank you to my family for their endless love, to my friends for inspiring me daily, and to my teachers for their unwavering belief in my ability to achieve my goals. I know that without you all, I would not be the person that I am today, and I'm forever grateful for all that you have taught me about myself and the world. I'm honored to have been asked to share a few words with you today as we leave one chapter of our lives and head out into this world for ourselves. To begin, I'd like to share an experience with you that helped me in conceptualizing the life that I'd like to live. Last year, I spent the summer in the Bay Area to attend classes at Stanford. One day, we headed out to a night game of the San Francisco Giants and took the BART subway back to campus. It was a weeknight, and as I looked around, I saw that most of the people coming home from work were completely spaced out after what I'm sure was a long day. Most were nodding off, bored, and totally expressionless, almost dead. I realized at that point that that's the way a lot of people live their lives. Wake, work, sleep, repeat. Is that the life that I've spent the last 4 years working towards? I sure hope not. But the more that I thought about it, the more I could relate to that lifestyle. Throughout high school, my routine has remained largely unchanged, and even following this experience in July, I found myself practicing the same cycle. But what am I to do, I thought. I'd love to spend my days reading books on a beach in the Caribbean, or even talking to strangers in a little cafe in Paris, but that's not realistic. Routine gets things done. Through some self-reflection, I've reconciled these two concepts. Routine is okay. Routine can accomplish long-term goals, and there's no shame in sticking with what works. However, just because we practice routine does not mean that we can check out of life. Going through the motions may get you from point A to point B, but it does not equate to a life well lived. So here are some pieces of practical advice. Talk to people. Every person you meet has an untold story, even people you've known forever. I've known the majority of people on this stage since middle school or even longer, and I'm still constantly finding out things about them. Like how once in a basketball game, Tazi was so focused on catching the ball that he didn't even realize that there was no one there to pass it to and just passed it to the wall. Or that time that Andrew accidentally flung his keys so high up into a tree that he had to call the fire department at school. You see what I mean? Next, look around. Whether it means taking a new way home from school or work, or even just resisting the urge to pick up your phone when someone leaves the table, stay engaged in whatever environment you're in. Finally, ask questions. In an effort to make life easy, we often simply accept things at face value out of pure convenience, not realizing that in doing this, we're missing out on a deeper level of understanding that produces greater return in the long run. So invest your time in asking questions. In conclusion, class of 2018, we are each about to embark on a totally unique journey. Do not be passive in it and refuse to accept monotony. Notice the life moving around you and be a part of it, even if you're just taking the subway home. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. O'Neill is proud to welcome Mr. Robert Harlow as our commencement speaker. Mr. Harlow was the founding headmaster of what was then the Wallace O'Neill Day School. With the support of our founders and under his leadership, O'Neill opened its doors with 35 students in 1971. A Midwesterner, Mr. Harlow received his undergraduate degree from Princeton University, where he also played basketball, including a trip to the Final Four. He also earned degrees from Northwestern University and the University of South Carolina. Prior to O'Neill, Mr. Harlow taught in Hawaii and Kansas. He left O'Neill in 1985 and worked at Heathwood Hall, Hilton Head Prep, and the IJGA Golf Academy before his last headship at Thomas Hart Academy in South Carolina. Mr. Harlow has left a lasting legacy in education, including both of his sons who are graduates of the O'Neill School. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bob Harlow.
It is indeed my pleasure to welcome all of you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2018, the 41st class to graduate from O'Neill. If I have done my figuring correctly, your class as a group has spent a total of 164 years roaming the O'Neill campus. That comes to be approximately 30,000 hours or days out of your life. That's a long time to build memories, and I imagine the days and the weeks must have dragged by at times, yet here you are this afternoon, ready to graduate. I've had the opportunity of talking with a number of you and some of your faculty and have learned a little bit about your class. Within your ranks, there are lovers of history and art and photography. There are scholars and thespians and athletes. Some of you are outgoing, others tend to be more reserved. Manner of dress, time management skills, seriousness of purpose, and choice of leisure activities vary greatly. But despite these differences, you seniors have come together through the years, formed a cohesive class, have made lifelong friends, and have shared a number of experiences you'll long remember. Who could forget the senior trip, rafting to Nantahala with good friends? That's hard to beat. The girls whooping up on Kerry Christian to claim the conference basketball titles this year. Coach Lulu got a little revenge, didn't she? Diagramming sentences with Mr. Roberts. A favorite of some of yours, I know. Bringing Gaga ball to O'Neill. And I think Sophia mentioned your first dance that was interrupted by the fire trucks that came out here. Mrs. Wolferman curing Lyle's hiccups by pouring water over his head. And didn't some shoes fly out the window too? Honoring Jan Simmons with the planting of a tree. Do you know that Jan has watched 40 classes graduate from O'Neill? Your class will be number 41, and I'm sure she's here to wish you well this afternoon. O'Neill has offered you many opportunities through the years, and each one of you has left something of yourself at O'Neill. That's a neat combination. The class of 2018 began its O'Neill journey in August of 2004 when Ellie Henry and Mary McMurray became the first Falcons. You two are the old-timers of the class, each spending 14 years on this campus. During your first year at O'Neill, YouTube was launched, Sudoku was a national rage, and Mrs. Alice Robbins served as the acting headmaster of this school. Ellie, achievement winner, swimming champion, homecoming queen, lover of blueberries and bagels. She will enroll in the College of William and Mary. What a great choice of schools. Mary takes her love of learning to Boston, where she will be a freshman at Northeastern University. Boston is a mecca for history buffs like you. Recipient of the Math and History Award. Also, Mary is the third McMurray to graduate from O'Neill. Brother Patrick will be the fourth to graduate in 2020. Your class saw Kayliana Cruz and Maddie Gutschmidt enroll in kindergarten in 2005. That was the year the verb to Google entered the Oxford English Dictionary, and Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast. The yearbook that year was dedicated to Miss Cindy Carr. Kayliana is off to Appalachian State, a beautiful university in Boone, North Carolina. The only problem, how are you going to wear your Birkenstocks in the freezing temperatures that invade the campus during the winter? Nice job at baccalaureate last night. Maddie, do you know that Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat was the very first production ever staged by O'Neill? It was in 1972, 46 years ago. I was your dad's headmaster when he was a high school student at O'Neill, so it's special for me to see you graduate this evening. Sophie Renner joined the class in the first grade. That year saw the first final installment of Harry Potter's series, and Steve Jobs announced the arrival of the iPhone. You'll find the University of Virginia to be a wonderful place to challenge you academically. Congratulations on being valedictorian of your class. Quite an honor. I would suggest you be commencement speaker next year. Are you really the biggest flirt in the class? Lizzie Moore began her career as a Falcon in 2007 as a second grader. The first Kindle reader hit the market that year. The most watched television programs were American Idol and CSI. You gave O'Neill some wonderful years, Lizzie, from the pool to the classroom to your community service. We'll throw in salutatorian and Kiwanis Junior Builder Cup too. Nicely done. I understand you're off to Chapel Hill to study journalism. That's wonderful. Lyle Summers followed his sister Emily to O'Neill and arrived on campus in August of 2008. That was the year that Barack Obama was elected president. Love Story by Taylor Swift was a huge hit. Your teachers that year were Mary Harris and Margot Nickel. You have a love of baseball, a dry sense of humor, and the reputation for being the worst behind the wheel. East Carolina will get a good one. The fifth grade saw Will Keller and Joseph Tawsey begin their O'Neill years. During their first year, Rolling into the Deep by Adele was the #1 single. Duke beat Butler for the NCAA basketball championship. The yearbook that year was dedicated to Miss Blanche Hancock. Will, the countdown to AP exams is now over, isn't it? Hope you did well. Being the recipient of the Student Improvement Award speaks volume about you, young man. You'll be are a great part of Wolfpack Nation. Joseph is off to Davidson and becomes the third Tawsey to graduate from O'Neill. Although, Joseph, I need to let you know that you're not nearly as pretty as your two sisters. You've had a great run, scholastically, athletically, and just being a nice guy. Board of Trustees Leadership Award, quite an honor. Oh, and I met a friend of yours last night. Why are you chuckling? John Druga, Kylie Paulus, Jessica Trincatella, and Signe Healy joined the class in 2011. During your sixth grade year, the Space Shuttle Discovery made its final landing, Oprah Winfrey aired her final TV show, and Wendy's overtook Burger King to become the second largest hamburger place in the United States. John captained the tennis team to a nice run in the state tennis tournament this year, reaching the quarterfinals. And John, I read just recently that ECU allows no sleeping in class. Kylie, lover of dance, cheerleading, the Nutcracker, and her eggs, her Uggs. East Carolina has an excellent dance program, and you look great in purple and gold, your new school colors. Jessica, a member of O'Neill's championship basketball team, is off to UNC Pembroke in the fall. And Jessica, also, Pembroke has a policy that does not allow sleeping in class. Signe, lover of all things artistic. She will attend Parsons Paris School of Design in France. That's more than 4,000 miles from home. No homesickness allowed. Someone said, true or not, I don't know, that you were the class clothes horse. I don't know. Riley Meese entered O'Neill as a seventh grader. The word selfie was officially added to the dictionary. The Hunger Games premiered in Los Angeles, and the Sandy Hook school tragedy occurred. Good years at O'Neill for you, Riley. Soccer captain, key club president, cheerleading co-captain, and I heard Wednesday the glue that holds things together. Well done, young lady. Colorado College waits you, as do 4,200 Air Force cadets. The next four members of your class, Brandon Birdsell, Hannah Fitzgerald, Dave Lewis, and Andrew Martin, they began their high school years as Falcons in the fall of 2014. Your freshman class numbered 36 students then, the largest your class would become. During your freshman year, Happy by Pharrell Williams was the year's top single. One World Trade Center officially opened 13 years after the 9/11 attacks, and Pope Francis made his historic visit to the United States. Brandon, I so enjoyed watching you play basketball this year. You were never short on hustle, nor short on desire to play. Hopefully there's an intramural ball in your future at UNC Charlotte. Remember to box out those big guys. Hannah, lover of art and golf, is off to Elon. I love your etching of the snow owl. It's just beautiful. Keep laughing, Hannah. It's so infectious. From what I know of you, David, you'll be pursuing your interest in coffee, dramatics, and improving your handwriting skills at Randolph-Macon. You'll be a great Yellow Jacket. Andrew, Dramatic Arts Award winner, Aeneas Scholarship recipient, you'll be joining 60,000 other undergraduates when you arrive on the Texas A&M campus in August. That's a lot of people. That's 130 times bigger than O'Neill. Think you'll be able to get from your first period class to your second period class on time? Toyin Colioso became the Falcon in 2015. Your first year at O'Neill saw Time magazine named Bernie Sanders as their Person of the Year. And 2015 also saw the deaths of David Bowie and Prince. 2 A's for you, Toyin, academics and athletics. That's a great combination. You'll love Skidmore. Amanatu. I think I pronounced that now correctly twice in a few days. In the fall of 2016, your class welcomed Peaches Ding, Sherry Dew, Christina Henn, and Elena McRae. The class of 2018 was now complete. During the year, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. The talon was dedicated to Mr. Sam Amato, and an appreciation note appeared in that yearbook which read, "O'Neill isn't the O'Neill without Miss Prim." Peaches will continue to pursue her love of art at Columbus College of Art and Design. Sherry takes her art ability and her Visual Arts Award from O'Neill, along with her peanut butter and banana chips, to Trinity College in Connecticut. Christina accepted an early decision to Richmond University. Congratulations on receiving the Departmental Science Award. Well done. Ilana enrolls in Cincinnati Christian College, where she will participate on the school's very first track and field team. That's pretty darn exciting. 9 months ago, you 23 students began your senior year, and now it's over. It went by quickly, didn't it? In about 12 weeks, you'll be on the campus of your choice. 10 of you will attend college in North Carolina, 4 go to Virginia, 2 each to Ohio and Massachusetts, and 1 each to colleges in Texas, Colorado, New York, and Connecticut, and Signe goes 4,000 miles away from here. Nice selection of colleges. Well done, class. I chuckled to myself when I discovered that Miss Prim had already read a Dr. Seuss book to your class. I'm also going to read a short passage from the same book as a lead into what I wish to say to you graduates this afternoon. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You've got brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Each of you is about to embark upon a really neat journey with marvelous opportunities awaiting for you. In about 10 weeks, you will be packing your stuff for college. Packing can be pretty simple. Just throw things in a bag and you're finished. Or it can take a lot of time and a lot of thought. Each time I've packed for a new venture, whether it be a new job or a new city to live in, I learned from my previous moves. I got a little wiser and learned that the values and attitudes that went with me were much more important than all the other stuff. When my mom died in 2008, my siblings and I packed her purse for heaven. We sent it along with her because she never went anywhere without it. In her purse, we packed those things that were important to her while she lived on earth. We packed lots of pictures of her family. Family was the most important thing to Mom. As a reminder of her generosity to others, we packed her coin purse and filled it with quarters and dimes. We packed Mom's lipstick, as she always liked to put her best foot forward. And lastly, we packed some milk bones for Kelly, her black Labrador. She loved animals and was a great supporter of the local Humane Society. Mom was well equipped with the things she would find essential as she settled into her new responsibilities in heaven. So graduates, my question to you this afternoon: in addition to your clothes, your shoes, your laptop, your Keurig, your shampoo, your toothpaste, what other items will you pack? I'm not talking about the ordinary stuff. I'm talking about the qualities and the values which will serve you well in your adult life. I'd like to share a few stories about 3 such qualities that you might consider packing. The first quality is being positive. Life is a wonderful gift that you've been given. Live it to the fullest. A positive approach is not only infectious to others, it also serves as a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you come to expect good things to happen, they often do. Make sure you have fun every day. Don't take life too seriously. Be willing to laugh at yourself, sing in the shower, even if you can't sing. Tell jokes and smile at others. A smile is the best way to stay positive. When you smile at someone, it's hard for that person not to smile back at you. Abe Lincoln was certainly prophetic when he said, "People are about as happy as they allow themselves to be." Why not choose happiness and pay that happiness forward? And when crummy things happen to you, as they certainly will, do what my doctor says when I go to him and complain about getting old and feeling stiff in the morning. His response to me, "Bob, just deal with it." Pretty good advice, isn't it? A little boy was overheard talking to himself as he strode through the backyard, baseball cap in place, and toting ball and bat. "I'm the greatest baseball player in the world," he said proudly. Then he tossed the ball in the air, swung, and missed. Undaunted, he picked up the ball, threw it in the air, and said to himself, "I'm the best player ever." He swung at the ball again, and again he missed. He paused a moment to examine the bat and the ball carefully. Then once again he threw the ball into the air and said, "I'm the greatest player ever to play." He swung the bat hard, but again missed the ball. "Wow," he exclaimed, "what a pitcher." Now that's a positive attitude. Making a difference is the second quality. I would suggest you consider packing. I am heartened by the many young people who are raising their voices and have committed themselves to improving the safety in our schools. Young people like you can make such a difference. I love the following story because of its message and its simplicity. I was walking down the deserted beach at sunset. As I walked along, I began to see another man in the distance. As he drew nearer, I noticed that the man kept leaning down, picking something up, and throwing it out into the water. Time and time again, he kept hurling things out into the ocean. As I approached even closer, I noticed that he was picking up starfish that had washed up on the beach, and one at a time he was throwing them back into the water. I was puzzled, and as I approached the man, I said, "Good evening, friend. I was wondering what you were doing." "I'm throwing these starfish back into the ocean. You see, it's low tide right now, and all these starfish have been washed up on the shore. If I don't throw them back into the sea, they will die." "I understand," I replied, "but there must be thousands of starfish on this beach. You can't possibly get to all of them. There are simply too many. And don't you realize this is probably happening on hundreds of beaches all up and down the coast? Can't you see that this can't possibly make a difference?" The man smiled, bent down and picked up yet another starfish. And as he threw it back into the sea, he replied, "Made a difference to that one." Your actions don't have to be big. Simple things make a big difference. Sometimes it's as easy as holding the door open for an older person. Why not ring a bell during the Christmas season for the Salvation Army? Wear a pink ribbon for Breast Cancer Awareness Week. Tutor a child next fall. Take time to encourage another. Help build a habitat house. Don't underestimate the difference that you can make. As Maya Angelou says, people forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Every time you act to improve the lot of another or stand up for an ideal, you send forth a tiny ripple of hope. And I encourage you to make many ripples during your lifetime. The third item you may want to pack for your trip is the quality of working hard. The Little Engine That Could is a story about a train carrying toys at Christmas time to the boys and girls who lived on the other side of a mountain. However, the train broke down and there was no hope for the toys to arrive on time. To make matters worse, a large passenger train and a big freight train rushed by, but refused to help because they were too busy and too important. But along came the hero of the story, the little blue engine, who wasn't very big or who wasn't very strong, but she offered to help nonetheless. As she started up the mountainside with a heavy load of toys behind her, she kept saying, "I think I can, I think I can." And over the mountain she went and delivered the toys to the little boys in time for Christmas. The Little Engine is not exactly a Newbery Award-winning book, but it carries a great message for all of us. I think I can. I think I can. Or as Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Work hard for the things you want, but understand that sometimes you'll have to overcome obstacles to get where you wish to go. You will no doubt fail at times, but if you learn from these mistakes and failures, it can be a positive and help you lead to successes. Did you know that Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor for lack of creative ideas? He went bankrupt a number of times. These failures, however, were essential to the building of Disneyland. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team when he was a sophomore, yet he went on to become one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball. Abraham Lincoln wanted to go to law school, but he couldn't get in. He was engaged to be married, but that didn't work out. He had a nervous breakdown and was in bed for 6 months. Lincoln lost a total of 6 elections as a candidate for both state and national office. Yet in 1860, he was elected President of the United States. Honest Abe could have quit, but he didn't, and consequently became one of the most admired presidents in our country. His mantra must have been, I think I can. In closing, I hope you'll spend some time thinking about what you'll pack for college. Take lots of stuff that you'll need for everyday living, but save a big corner in your bag for those special qualities that will make you the kind of person you wish to be. Some of you are visual learners and some of you are auditory learners. This is for the visual learners. Pack a positive attitude and realize the benefits that come to you and others. Pack a desire to make a difference and realize that there are many starfish out there waiting on you. Blanche helps me so much. Pack a commitment to working hard and realize that I think I can attitude will carry you over many mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley von Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Congratulations go to you, the class of 2018. Thank you and Godspeed.
Mr. Elmore, Mr. Howell, Mr. Jacobs, trustees, faculty, parents, and friends, it is my pleasure to present to you the O'Neill School Class of 2018. Please hold your applause until each student is properly introduced. Brandon Jason Birdsall. Assisting in the presentation will be his mother and current faculty member, Mrs. Christine Birdsall. Ding Mei Tong. John David Druga, Jr. Du Si Ray. Hannah Lee Fitzgerald. Madeline Rose Gutschmidt. Assisting in the presentation will be her father and current board member, Mr. Michael Gutschmidt. Han Zhu Yin. Signe Linnea Healy. Elizabeth Avis Henry. William Carter Keller, Jr. Aminatu Toyin Colioso. Kaliana Cruz. David J. Lewis. Andrew Kyle Martin. Mary Elizabeth McMurray. Assisting in the presentation will be her mother and former board president, Mrs. Connie McMurray. Alana Larkira McCrae. Riley Noel Meese. Elizabeth Lucas Trent Moore. Assisting in the presentation will be her mother and former Parents Association president, Mrs. Janet Trent. Kylie Ann Paulus. Sophia Elizabeth Renner. David Lyle Summers, Jr. Joseph William Tazi. Assisting in the presentation will be his father and current board member, Dr. Joseph Tazi. Jessica Lynn Trincatella. It is with great pleasure that I present to you the graduates of the O'Neill School Class of 2018. Graduates, you may flip your tassels.
Well, everyone's standing, so please remain standing. And join me in recognizing the class of 2018. Following the recessional, there will be a reception just outside in the courtyard. Thank you, Mr. Harlow, and thank you, Mr. Howell. It is with great pleasure that I say congratulations, graduates. You can toss them. You can throw them.